What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, episode 16. And I got a special guest, Galeano.
Yes.
I did it right?
Yes, you did. You nailed it.
So, introduce the people before we go in.
What's up, guys? Again, my name is Galeano. I am an artist from South Florida. I'm coming out with an EP called Friendly Skies, filled with R&B and touches of electronic and some different notes of everything.
That's different.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So before we get into all that, even with your past project, where did that start? Like, where does your music inspiration start? Like,
wow. Well, I gotta say, one of my biggest inspirations is my uncle, as cheesy as it may sound. He's probably, like, the biggest influence for my music, or at least for me to pursue my music and for even think about music the way that I think about it. He went to school for music, you know, he won an award, he sent in one of his songs to the Billboard Awards, and he actually won. For song, best written song, it was a contest.
So he was a songwriter.
Yep, he's a songwriter, composer, he does the whole nine. And he introduced me to a lot of music as well. Since I was a kid to now, starting with ABBA, the Beatles, old 70s Spanish music like, you know, Camilo Sesto, Rocio Dúrcal. And then, you know, most recently, jazz, like bossa nova. Oh my God, I'm in love with bossa nova.
So he still writes to this day? Or?
Unfortunately not. As much as I try to get him to, no, he doesn't. He's into other hobbies, so he's given up on that. Hopefully one day I can, you know, reel him back in.
Got to. Like,
yeah, he sings beautifully. He was a part of a group called Avalon, and it was awesome going to see them, you know, their band practice and like a hole in the wall in a really stuffy warehouse. There was no AC whatsoever in the middle of Miami, you know, middle of the summer, mad hot, but it was great just seeing them rock out every single night. It was awesome, and that for me was like, that was enough. That's what I wanted. And from then on, it was just listening to that and then listening to everything else. Erykah Badu, Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
You know, like throwing it way, 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 way back.
Yeah, that's way back.
Yeah, like the scatting that she does is something that I'm in love with. So, and then, you know, Erykah Badu's, you know, like the highs and the lows, the harmonies. Lauryn Hill. Like, I'm about to drop, like, mad R&B artists right now. Mary J. Blige, you know, when you're a kid, you're playing. You leave when MTV and VH1 used to be about music.
Yeah, even BET not even like that no more.
Nothing. It's all about reality. But you could just leave the channel on and it would play.
Yeah.
You'd be singing absolutely every single song. You know, everyone.
So what was the age where you started getting more into music?
Like making it or
just
listening to it.
Like listening to it and just,
like, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know, cause again, like, I grew up with music, so it was like from very, very early age, it was something that I wanted to do. I was already in the church choir.
Okay.
By the time I was in second grade. From there, I was in the school choir, the chorus. So it's always been there. However, the confidence that I had, I mean, not confidence, but like when I started actually listening to stuff and being like, this is my favorite, probably, like 93, 94 when like Crisscross came out.
God,
and
dang, you made me feel like kind of young and old at the same time.
Right? Yeah, but like Crisscross, like it was something I couldn't listen to at all.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sneak and go to my friend's house and listen to it because my mom and my uncle thought it was the devil. That shit is gross. Listen to what they're saying and how they're rapping. Who the hell thinks this is music? And I was like, fuck.
But how was that time though? Like when Crisscross was like big.
How is it? It was fucking crazy. It was weird because I was living in a at that point for like a very brief time, and it sticks out because that's when I really started. Like I had a favorite, and that was TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool, and you know it was all of these artists that were coming out with like more provocative music versus what I was used to and versus what my family was playing at home. You feel me? Like salsa and merengue. It wasn't reggaeton, you know, like reggaeton you gotta basically wear a condom to listen to that shit. You feel me? Like if you listen to true reggaeton, that shit is dirty.
It's very dirty.
No, like we listened like it was like I said, classic salsa, you know, classic merengue, vallenatos, which is native to like Colombia and Venezuela. And things of that nature. So when I couldn't play that shit at home, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? So for me, that era, like, it was more of, you know, the big earrings. Mind you, I'm, like, in 3rd grade trying to get, like, big fucking hoop earrings. Like, I leave the house looking, like, super nice. Get to my friend's house, like, you ready? Yeah. Give me the shoes, give me the baggy pants, the earrings, you know? We'd get back to her house, we'd try to put on, like, the fake long-ass nails, the ones that curve to be, like, SWV.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of. And then, you know, of course, once back in New York, it was the summers. And I know that you heard Summer on Roughly.
Yeah, I did. It was one of the, like... Not I want to talk about it right now, but like the whole mixtape as a whole, like from track 1 to like the last track, cause only like 8 tracks, wasn't it right? Like
I think 9.
8 or yeah, but it wasn't too long, but like the it went from like how you call it like. Went the good, the great, the great, the great. So, like, I started saying, like, okay, I see what y'all was doing and stuff, but Summer was one of my favorite tracks on there.
Yeah, so, I mean, exactly. So, you heard it, so it had that feel, you know? That kind of, like, summertime, summertime. It was kind of, that's, when I made that song, I had that in mind, and I wanted it to bring it back. Like, ice cream truck running around, you know, fire hydrant just going crazy, you know, super hot again. You don't have central AC in New York. You have the money to put the AC in there, or you don't. And back in the day, a good AC, window AC was like $700.
Damn, back in the day, I don't know how much it costs now.
I don't know. But you think about that, and that's kind of that era, that 92, 93. You got Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. Yeah. It's fucking, I tried my best to party at my friends' parties. Like, yes, play it. Oh. Once my mom came, put on, like, you know, whatever the fuck she liked. Yeah. Okay.
Nah, because, like, me, you know, being, you know, 26 years old and like young, like, you know, I wasn't, you know, I was a baby around that time, so like just watching like House Party and stuff, like House Party 1, 2, and 3 and things like that, like different movies that came out, movies that came out, you know, in the 90s and stuff. I'm like, damn, like the 90s was really like, you know, just having fun and partying and stuff like that, and you know, of course the 2000s was like that too, but the 2000s was more like, you know, you got to try to get your hustle on. It was more like, you know, going to the clubs and things like that.
Showing off.
Yeah, showing off with the bling bling.
Yeah, that's what, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Bling bling. Wow.
So when did you like when did you want to start create music?
Fuck. I don't know. I mean, I did it when I was a kid. I used to, you know, I would probably like make my own. I sang everything. Like, if my friend was here, she'd tell you, I sing everything. And I guess it's a form of freestyle. It's not, I don't really mean it. But, like, I will, if I'm bored as fuck or I'm, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. If your phone is ringing, I'll be like, your phone's ringing.
So someone pretty much had to be like, no, you got to pursue music. Or was it yourself that...
I did it myself.
You did it yourself.
But it took a lot of everything in me to do it because I didn't have a support system like that. You understand? Like, it's not throwing any dirt or throwing anybody under the bus, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles for me. Yeah, so I at one point it was like, and I went to college. I dropped out of high school. I got my GED. I went to college, and then I was doing the graphic design thing, and I was in the middle of what fucking class was that? HTML. The guy was going way too fast, and I was still on, like, typing the letter H.
What does what does that mean? HMT? What's it?
HTML is a form of it's how like some of the stuff on the internet work. So it's kind of like, help me out here.
What?
HTML.
It's just like a language for how you code websites.
Oh, so it's pretty much like coding. Okay.
It's how you build a website. I should know this.
Because the closer I got to coding was MySpace.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, that's basically it. Because more intricate and like basically, you have to like be careful with your spaces and where you put everything has to be perfect. And I don't know. I just got lost in the middle of it, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I started writing, and even before that, like back in high school, I had like a little group going on and everything, but it wasn't that serious. It was serious that day. Then I said, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to school.
What school did you go to?
Which one? What kind?
Like high school.
High school?
Yeah.
So many. Okay. White Plains High School in New York, and then I came down here, and I bounced around a little bit. I went to Miami Sunset Senior High. Then I went to Stranahan.
Stranahan?
Yeah, Stranahan High School.
Okay.
And then I got my GED at Plantation.
Okay. Just making sure, because I want to make sure that you ain't go to none of my rival schools and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
I was a team spirit down here, trust me. When I left New York, I was not team spirit.
So to get back, you said you pretty much fell out of love with graphic design, and you started writing. So what happened after that? That's when you started, all right, I'm gonna record. So when was the first time you recorded a song?
I feel like I'm falling.
For real?
Yeah, it was. I don't know why it's not showing up on my SoundCloud, but whatever. It's
Cause I was about to say that because I was trying to go on your SoundCloud and I seen like the interview, your last interview that you had, but I was trying to look for like some other songs and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
it's not showing up, and I have another one as well. But Feel Like I'm Falling is a track that was as soon as I dropped out of college, I Googled like best producer in like South Florida. So this guy comes up who has like all these credits with like Madonna and shit, and I went to him, and I got charged a buttload of money, much money. But it was an experience, and I'm not in love with the song. It's not my favorite song,
but it's your first song.
It's my first song. It's like my baby, But that was the beginning. And after that, obviously I knew it wasn't going to work out doing, spending so much money on just one song. I wasn't going to get anywhere. Mm-hmm. Because I was going to go broke.
Yeah, just one song.
So I started to look around. I started to do my own thing little by little. And maybe it took me like a couple of years to get it actually going. Like people think that, you just... You come up with something and put it out there, boom, and just
that's why.
Happens.
That's
it's a process.
Yeah, like, I tell people all the time, like whether you're an artist, a producer, a DJ, an engineer, anything that you do in music, it's a grind. Like sometimes you have to do other things to gain that back. Yeah. So that's why I got the podcast. The podcast is helping me. but I'm still, you know, wanting to get in that craft with the music and stuff, like creating new music and just finding new artists to work with and things like that.
That's cool. That's cool. That's definitely good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Getting to this point was a definite process for me because it wasn't just, you know, finding somebody and, you know, creating like a good music relationship and, you know, on top of that, creating something, you know, that was gonna go somewhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was also trying to find myself as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna do? How do I want to sing? What style? You know, how confident I wasn't really confident because again, I don't really have that support system. It's kind of just like me rooting for myself. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like multiply yourself sometimes into like 100 little motherfuckers in your head. Like, yes, go, you can do it. And that's kind of what I did. And you know, slowly but surely through the networking and through the people that I was meeting, I ended up meeting him. And
shout out to Fred.
Shout out to Fred.
Shout outs.
At I am Frederick. Wait, I'm too high for this shit. You gotta do it.
I am FRDRK.
There you go.
Y'all heard that, right? I hope they heard it.
I am FRDRK.
Shout
Frederick, you got this. Come on. They got this. They can put two and two together. But yeah, as soon as I met him and, you know, we just started kicking it off. He was working on somebody else's, somebody that I knew, their project. I don't know what happened to that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fire. It was so fire. And I only liked that one song that Frederick had been on. I was like, wait, you gotta replay that shit over and over and over again. And I came back down. I was in Orlando, and then that's when it all just started. We just started talking about, you know, like what I wanted to do. We started meeting up, and then little by little, you know, FS1 started becoming.
Mm-hmm.
The mixtape was something on the side. That was something that he did. He mixed it and mastered a couple of songs.
It's called, and the mixtape is called Roughly.
Roughly, yes. Which
is out, you know, on SoundCloud. You know, it's a great mixtape. I want to go through it real quick, you know, just to, you know. Come on. But what was the whole idea behind the mixtape? You know, before I go into like the title, the tracks.
The idea behind the mixtape was just basically, I mean, it's named Roughly, and I didn't know it was an actual word. I was just gonna fucking name it that. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just a rough draft of what the fuck was going on in my life and how I could put it into words. Like, it was a really, really tough time. Probably one of like the worst years of my life, to my recollection. And I needed an outlet. So I collabed with the artist that's on there, J-Lord, and we made Roughly. And Roughly was just something like, if you listen to the lyrics, it's a little bit more raw than what I'm about to drop.
Yeah, and it was. I think that's why I really appreciate the mixtape. You know, especially what's one of my other ones? Blaze Up was like if you played at a club down here, like at a strip club, that would have been like a banger. You know what I'm saying? Like just listening in my truck, like like doom. I'm like, okay. I didn't expect that because like the whole mixtape was great, but like from like track 1 to 5 was more of a, you know, like it was, how you call it, like it was like laid back and had a message, but it was like, you know, you could really dance to it. But when Blaze Up came on, I'm like, damn. I was like, okay. I hear like the down south sound and stuff like that.
I found Blaze Up I found that beat, like, I was sitting on that beat for like a year and a half.
And you found it?
Yeah, I found it on My Flash store, but I think they changed the name to something else because I couldn't find it anymore.
Remember, they should have a website called SoundClick. I don't know if they still got that, dude.
I think they do.
They still do?
SoundClick, yeah.
Yeah, when they have all the producers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's why like Zaytoven and them they blew up, and Mike Will made it because of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from
Nice.
like, you know what I'm saying. So the mixtape roughly, track 1 was the grind.
Mm-hmm.
So what was like the whole process and like the reason to make that track?
The grind was basically just it was the beat that we had come across, and as soon as I heard it, just from that's actually Will Smith, a piece of Will Smith's interview that he was doing about the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
He had just dropped that movie, so what he was saying, and it's so true. I mean, basically, it's just work ethic.
Yeah.
And it's just going hard every single time. And I wasn't sleeping. I was working. I was basically just grinding the entire time. I mean, I still am. I don't even know how many hours I'm negative in sleep. It's crazy. I need to stop. I'm gonna get old. But it just came to me naturally, especially that hook. Mm-hmm. Blood, sweat, tears in your eyes. Like, that shit is just like, it's definite. Like, you cry. You have such emotionals. Like, for me, it's like, I don't take this as it's a hobby. This is what I do on the side. No.
No, it's your life.
This is me.
Yeah.
And then what I do from 9 to 5 or whatever my job is a job. It's not a career. It's not what I do.
It's just something to have, just to bring in the money to pay the bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when I listen to it, I was like, this shit it made me want to play football again, Like, right? It was like, like a song I could just play before a big game and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely gets you hyped.
So I got that vibe from that, and then the next song is track 2 is called "What Up." Mm-hmm. So what was like the story behind that one?
That was more of the other artist of J-Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, for the process of each one, we basically get really high. And and then we go back inside and we listen to the beat and we get really silent. Like, the whole process, it was, he was in his corner, I was in my corner. Mm-hmm. And then, after like 15 minutes, we would come back and be like, you ready? Yeah. And then, he had a microphone set up. What kind of mic was that? Do you remember? Mm-hmm. That Michael Jackson mic that we both hated? Michael Jackson had recorded Thriller on it.
Oh, really?
It's that model. It's not the same one. No,
oh, okay. I was about to say.
But it's that same model. And he just had it, set up just like this. Mm-hmm. The laptop, an interface, the mic, and then we would lay whatever we had. If we liked it, we would lay it. If not, we would continue working on it.
That's what's up. It was like I said, it was a good mixtape. And then track 3 was Soul Prince. Mm-hmm. So what was the story about that?
That's probably one of my favorites that he did. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good track. I don't know what his reasoning was behind it because I didn't really ask him. Like, basically, when I say that this project was a collab, it was literally, it was basically I do mine, and then I would ask him to be on those tracks, and then he would do his, and I would ad-lib those. So you see, like, some of them are mostly his vocals, his lyrics and stuff like that, and then I come in and I go ahead and I lay sprinkle my magic. But it was basically, more of he would record his stuff, and sometimes it was like that because I have a very weird schedule for my job. So most of the time for tracks like Soul Prince, he recorded it all on his own, and then when I had time, I went over and then I would lay that verse or lay whatever ad libs I did on top of that. Yeah. Same thing. No, actually with What Up, we really did have.
And then track 4 was the Sickness, was a dope track. True Justice. Now Blaze Up is my favorite track on the whole mixtape. I really want to know the process of it, like you said you sat on the beat for a while. So what made you want to finally do something with that beat?
When we were in the process of making the tape,
Mm-hmm.
I told him I wanted something more hype.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't finding anything, and then I remembered that I had some beats, and I started looking through shit that I had saved on my computer when I was working. R.I.P.
And the computer died?
No, it went back to 1979 and it won't come out.
Dang.
So nothing works. Yo, if your date and time goes on your computer, on your Mac, you're
Oh,
dead.
yeah. It's a wrap.
That shit is locked.
Yeah.
It won't do shit. It'll like dance. You know, like, it's fucked up. So, whatever. But I found Blaze Up, and I found the beat, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Okay, cool, let's do this one. So we had another session, we were smoking, and my dog, I have a pit bull named Blaze.
Okay.
And I had thought about it, and I was like, I don't know why, but like we were smoking, and on top of that, Blaze came to mind, and I was like, okay, let's make it about fucking smoking weed and fucking having fun. Like, you know, let's just smoke some fucking bud. Fuck it. Let's be vulgar about it.
So your dog was pretty much like the motivation.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blaze.
Shout out to Blaze.
Blaze Up. I feel like, you know, y'all should. Me as a DJ, I feel like y'all should, like, somehow, some way. Y'all still cool to this day, right?
Somewhat. We did go our separate ways.
What? Like, what happened?
Life.
Well, one day, when that day come back, when y'all come back in full circle, hey, Blaze Up gotta somehow, some way get pushed, cause
Yeah.
it was bumping in my track. I always say whenever a track is bumping in your car, your truck, or whatever, in your house, it's a hit. To me, it's a hit. You know what I'm saying? The track 7, the summer, you know, you said it before, like, you know, just the summer in New York and things like that, with the fire hydrants, the water's going out of everywhere and things like that.
Hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Eating an icy. Making sure it doesn't melt all over your shit.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, the paper gets so, like, soggy. And then, you know, you start... The juice and the sugar starts to seep, and then you're just a sticky mess. Yeah. So you gotta eat it fast.
And then the last track, Light Force, was a dope track as well. Like, what was the process of that? Like, the story behind that?
That was the same thing.
Same thing.
Just basically smoking. You know, occasionally we would, you know, talk about it, but like, you know, whatever he would lay down, he would just lay it down. Like, I would listen to it as long as I could listen to it and it made sense and the flow was impeccable. I was good with it.
Okay, so before we go into your new baby that's coming out, you said in April, let's talk about your love with 90s hip hop, with the golden era, not just with hip hop but music in general. Why do you feel? Because, you know, before the podcast we had a conversation that for me I also could add the 2000s.
Yeah.
And we kind of had like a debate. So now this is like the first debate, you know, on the podcast when it comes with the 90s versus the 2000s. So why do you feel like the 90s it was like the golden age?
Because I guess there's always money still involved. You feel me?
Yeah,
but
always.
Like, it wasn't. I don't know. I just felt like it was truer, more honest than what it was. Because you and I both stated before, it was the 2000s had a lot of more of like a bling bling, you know, more of like luxury and status type of feel, and meanwhile that was, you know, something that was stated in a lot of songs in the 90s. It had, I feel like the beats even had a little bit more feel. I don't know, DJ Premier, Just Blaze, you know, really like Pete Rock. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm listening to Noriega and Capone first album, and the beats on there is crazy so far. So I'm like, I get what you mean by that.
Yeah. So it's crazy, like, especially like A Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
Come on. I still rock to that.
It's
so hard.
And then then you got like Outkast and stuff like that. Like
definitely.
the beginning, like I don't know, like for me, for one, like the 90s, like to me, I felt like I caught like the 97 to like 99, you know, like music and stuff. Like, what's his name? My God. Dang, what's his name?
What'd he do?
He's a rapper. Most Def. Most Def. So
Most Def and Talib Kweli.
Yeah, man. So like, and then of course, Trick Daddy and stuff, and Scarface, and I could keep going. Ice Cube. Within like the late 90s, been in 2000s, like.
Yeah, when we had that debate, like, you made me realize that there's a lot of classics.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like I stated, Pharrell and the Neptunes, they were dropping shit that was crazy, and they were all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like they're still underrated, though. Even from their last project they just dropped. What's it called? The one with Rihanna on it and all of them. Like, I still feel like, listen to that album, I was like, the Neptunes, a lot of people don't really talk about them when it comes to producers.
Right.
Like, they don't, even with Pharrell alone, like, they don't talk about him. They'll talk about, Dr. Dre's and, the Jermaine Dupri's and things like that. But, like, they don't really talk about Pharrell. But I think the reason why is because Pharrell he's everywhere. Like, he could produce hip-hop, R&B, pop, everything. So with the golden era in the 90s, do you think it was golden because of the different artists that came out of the, like in all, like, the Tupacs, the Biggies,
maybe
the Spice Girls, that shoot like, what I'm saying?
That's not hip hop.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm trying to keep it also overall, but mostly all right. But we could keep it hip hop.
I mean, hip hop. I mean, yeah, you had like Common.
Yeah.
I just remembered. Fucking, I love Common. Things like that. I mean, I don't know how to put it. There's so much. If you were to compare what's there, I guess it's a little bit more serious than what's out now because you want to like more to hype you up and be able to ride out to it and be able to put it in the club. Versus, what was going on before, So you can't really, like, get hyped to, I mean, I guess you could get hyped.
You can't get hyped.
Some
the old Bustin' Rhymes?
Of course. But, like, it has such a different feel. It was done in such a different way. I don't even know. You're making me think so hard into this. Why do I love you? It just has, I guess it has a little bit more of a romantic feel for hip-hop than what it is now. I feel like artists are treating hip-hop more of like a whore.
I get
like
that.
A cash cow. So, like, you could feel that integrity into the music.
Yeah. I get what you mean, like...
I guess that's why I have a little bit more love to it.
Yeah,
but can I rock to shit right now? And can I rock to shit and vibe to shit from the 2000s? Hell yeah, I'm pretty sure I fucking shook my ass.
Because that's the thing, like, when we talk about the 2000s, I'm talking about, like, 2000 to, like, 2009. I'm not talking about 2010 or nothing. I mean, 2010, like, despite some artists, that's coming out right now that's not really, where it's at. Because I feel like when the 2010s, I think hip-hop kind of died out around... The last great year really was, like, 2014. 2014-ish, early 2015-ish. And then now it's kind of crazy because even when I look back to 2010, like, you had Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying? You had Drake, you had the Kanye one, in his prime. You know what I'm saying? So... It's like now it's just like it's bits of pieces. With the 90s you had everybody. 2000s you only had a little bit of how you call them, like, mediocre artists, but it was still like you still had people all over the place. Like, you still had you know, Joe Budden. You still had the Game. You know, you still had Little Flip. Little Flip to me is very underrated. You know, he's really like one of the best freestylers, you know, in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You had Nelly. You know, I feel like Nelly. A lot of people, even Ja Rule, like a lot of people credit Ja Rule with the whole like melody, like cause I started seeing what people start to say like before me, like it's these trees. So like Redman, and then his tree you got Eminem, Ludacris, Big Sean. Yeah. And then like in Ja Rule tree you got like a Drake. Who else is like melody? Like they got like that metal that like Quavo. Quavo I can kind of put him in there because Quavo he raps.
Travis Scott in there too.
Yeah. Travis Scott. You know I put him in that group. So it's like when it comes with the different eras, everyone got their opinion, but I feel like hip hop would never die because you have the artists like we said earlier, Kendrick. You know, kind of reminds us of today's pop. You know, with his messages and stuff like that. Even though he's more, Tupac had his different characteristics. Right. But Kendrick is like his own person, but you could tell like he got a lot of influence from pop. You know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole, you know, a lot of people try to compare him to Jay-Z because Jay-Z, you know, helped him out at the beginning, but I see more of a Nas influence.
Yeah, definitely.
Than J. Cole, because Nas was like, you know, I even noticed, I just noticed that too, like Nas, all his songs didn't have all the greatest beats. Right. But he had the lyrics. And you could just say, like, imagine if, like, he did something with a Pharrell or Dr. Dre, like, on a full album. Like, oh my God. That never happened before, but imagine that happened. Like, Nas, to me...
You just blew my mind. I never thought of that. Yeah. Can you imagine? I could definitely... Oh, man. I could definitely see him.
Like, imagine that, like a Swiss Beats or Just Blaze, like... Think about that.
Just Blaze?
No, but I'm saying like a whole project. Yeah. Cause his hits to me was like, you know, he had everybody from Little John, from Swiss Beats, from all of them pretty much. His hits seen it, but like as an album, it was like I remember Hip Hop Is Dead, great album. Production wise, to me it was kind of you know, as far as like beats. But the album was great. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, God's Son is, like, my favorite album from Nas. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just... Hip-hop is just, in general now, it's really like a sport. You know, like, back in the days, you know, you had the Bulls... And then you had the Lakers in the 2000s, and now you got, like, the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just, like, everyone has their season. Right. But, you know, like we said, you know, hip-hop now is kind of, like, crazy because not a lot of people, they don't have the love for it. You know, like, they don't see the longevity in it. They just want it for the money. Exactly. And I think that's what the problem, and I get your point.
You can hear it in the music. Mm-hmm. You can hear it, especially when it's like you're not saying anything and you're just, you know, rhyming each song, and it's like, or not rhyming each song, but rhyming each word, and it's not, there's no, what are you talking about? And or if you can't even hear or understand what you're saying, it's like, what are you saying? How are you on the radio? But it's cool. I mean, that's the wave. That's the wave. Me personally, I don't tend to bump to that. I would probably, like you said, some Wu-Tang or some Busta Rhymes, you know, or some Kendrick. Anything, you know, any one of my friends, you know, things of that nature versus anything that's, you know, bumping on the radio. Just because it's just so saturated and it just feels like it's like a carbon copy of the next person.
It's copy and paste, like...
Yeah, and it's like, I've heard the same Chris Brown song or that same beat over and over and over and over and over again, and Chris Brown's great. Yeah. I like him as an artist. I think he's a good artist. But it's this one song. I don't even remember, but I know that it's so many artists have made that song already, and it's the same beat, and it's just a little bit of tweaking, and oops, there's a new song, and oh, there goes 5 million plays in 2 weeks, and it's like, wow.
But don't you think that nowadays, especially like with streaming, you think streaming added that problem to like, for example, like back in the days, an album could last you 2 to 3 years,
right?
To drop different videos, go on tour, things of that nature. Nowadays, people is like they feeling kind of, not everyone, but like the typical rapper right now is just like, I'm gonna drop a mixtape every week, album pretty much albums are like mixtapes nowadays. They dropping them like every week, every 2 weeks.
Currency fucking had a mixtape for every month last year.
But Currency different, dude.
Currency,
Currency is like,
he's human.
Yeah, like Currency is like, you could do that for mixtapes. Honestly, I feel like for mixtapes you could do that, but like for albums, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I feel like think about it, like, for example, what's one of your favorite albums of all time? Give me like I guess a top 5, or just not even just a top 5 or 10. Just name a few albums that you love back in the day.
From back in the day?
It could be from the day or from back in the day.
Definitely Thriller.
Thriller, okay, that could be replayable.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? Let's see. Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
Yes, replayable.
That's definitely replayable.
Yes.
The Black Album.
Thank you.
Illmatic,
okay. Black Album, I love, because Black Album to me, personally, that's my favorite Jay-Z album of all time.
Reasonable Doubt for me.
Reasonable, hey.
But I was too young. I actually fell in love with that back in high school. Like that was already old school for everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I wasn't feeling the music that was coming out. So what I would do, and I had just come down here from New York, and I didn't like it. So I would skip school and go back to back home. And then I would go on Napster and just like start downloading a whole bunch of like hip hop and shit that I didn't know, and like shit that I would remember that would be playing on Hot 97. And I found Reasonable Doubt, and I was like, emoji heart eyes.
That's a classic album, like Jay.
And then from there, it just snowballed in like a year. Like I loved like all of these albums and all of this music and stuff like that.
But you don't really get like, okay, we could get like the Kendricks and the J. Cole's and stuff like that, but you don't really get that like nowadays. Like, back in the day, you had like a handful of artists. Like when they came out with albums, like you like shit, you collect like different CDs and things like that. And before the podcast, our stories about different albums is different because one, we actually had the copy.
Right.
Like, like
you had to go get it.
Yeah, you had to go get it. Like I remember.
That was a journey in itself.
Yeah, like one of the last albums that was like, like the 2010s, like the Blueprint. No, not the Blueprint. The Pink app. The Pink, was it Pink Friday with Nicki Minaj? I remember I got that for one of my close friends for her birthday, and like when I listened to the album, I ain't gonna lie, I downloaded it, but I'm a DJ. But that album, I was like, I could have bought myself a copy. You get what I'm saying? Like for me, cause it was like one of them, like I said, like the 2010s, like from 2010 to like 2014ish, 2015ish is like when that was like, all right, these new rappers came out, and it was like one of the last of the golden era of the 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, now it's just like, to me, honestly, I feel like it's no true story behind an album unless, like, for me, when I was, like, I just graduated from, like, an undergrad. Mm-hmm. So, like, J. Cole first album was, even though I didn't get the hard copy, it was still a story behind it. Because I remember when I was listening to it, you know, I was at Broward College, you know what I'm saying, feeling myself. I just got my car,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, and you know, it reminded me of when I was like 18, 19 years old, just, you know, going around the city and stuff, going to school and just having fun, you know what I'm saying? So,
but like I feel like with the J. Cole albums, I feel like now it's like expected. It's kind of like you gotta buy the hard copy, man.
yeah.
Because it's just his artistry, you know, it speaks for itself. It literally puts him. It's not that he's, you know, that Jay-Z co-signs on him, because it's not like Jay-Z's on every track or ad-libbing for him.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? He does his own thing, and like he's established himself. So that gives the fans that urge to buy it instead of downloading it. And I feel like what's different from now to back then is the fact that, like you stated, there's social media, and everybody has a smartphone. Everybody can log on to anything, and you know it's you can upload stuff in 2 seconds, and as long as you have followers, it catches heat. Yeah. Put a hashtag on it, and you know you'll be Lil Pump in like 2 days. You know, and versus back in the day where, you know, these people actually had to grind hard to get any type of deal. You know, they had to actually have some type of, like, especially hip hop back in the day. Hip hop, you gotta understand, hip hop back in the day wasn't the number one music genre in the United States. Rock was. Yeah, now it's pop.
Yeah, they call it the new pop.
It is the new pop. And that's what's crazy. So, and on top of that, you had to show off that you were good, that you were, you know, that you can put 2 and 2 together. Have you seen Brown Sugar with Mos Def?
Brown Sugar? You talking about the
movie?
The movie? No.
You gotta watch that, because it's basically a play on what happened. When, like, in the 2000s, like, you see, like, record labels trying to get these people that don't know how to rap and, you know, rap. And if you have the image, you got it.
Yeah, I gotta watch the movie.
It's cool.
I gotta watch it.
It's funny. It's a really good movie, and I love the soundtrack.
Yeah, I heard of it, but I never really. It was one of the movies I see it later on in life. You know,
it's
what
awesome.
I'm saying? I'm gonna watch it.
I love that shit.
But
I watched it. I do everything.
But yeah, man, like just hip hop is just. It's not gonna go nowhere.
No, definitely not.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know, we're still gonna have great minds and great you know, Tyler the Creator is another one that's fucking awesome.
That's Tyler Creator.
He definitely evolved, because he used to scare the shit out of me. His videos were like, bro, what are you on? Yeah. What kind of demons are you seeing in your head?
But when you listen to his songs, it's like, okay, I get what you mean. To me, Tyler Creator, I think he was like kind of influenced, you know, by Kanye West. Mm-hmm. You know, he's very creative, but people think he's crazy, but he actually is like.
I love him.
He's giving you like he's trying to get people to see his mind of where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Like I love artists like that. You know, like A$AP Rocky and stuff like that. A$AP Ferg. I love artists like that.
Yeah, A$AP Rocky is another one that's really creative with his stuff. Like, I like that. I love seeing, and that's what I like about stuff right now. Like, what's happening right now in music is great. You have a lot of, aside from the Littles, or the Lils. Sorry, I put a T in there. My bad. Aside from those, like, you have, like, Joey Badass.
Joey Badass, another one.
And they show this creativity. Like, they show that they really honestly do love music. You know, especially when you see that they're kind of honing in. It's them. It's not like a staff of people behind. Maybe that do help them, but I feel like you could see the genuine of how they feel for music. You see it in J. Cole. I mean, we kind of drop J. Cole like every 5 seconds.
Hey, J. Cole, if you listen to this,
shout out J. Cole.
Dreamville, hey. One day, I know right now y'all kind of busy, but one day, please. But yeah, like, help, hey.
Play it in wherever.
So sticking with hip hop, who was like one of your main influences? Like, who did you really listen to growing up to be like, you know what? Not the still they style, but like just the influence to give you hype. 'Cause I know pretty much, right now, like before you record, you'll probably listen to somebody, one of your favorite artists. So, who did you mainly like listen to?
As far as hip hop goes, probably Jay-Z and Eminem.
Okay, the two goats.
Yeah, definitely. For a very long time, I used to listen to the Black Album when I was absolutely pissed, and I couldn't fucking do anything with myself, but just ride out and play it. Like, my sister would be like, "Are you okay?" I'm not gonna say it as soon as I would play, the Black Album, but I feel like as far as a rapper goes, yeah, and then then I'm sorry. Then Nas came in, and it's not that I all of a sudden found Nas. No, it's Nas dropped Ether, and after that I was like,
And that's another. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, nowadays it's like beef is like with social media. Beef is not like how it used to be. Like, it's not. You don't want it to get violent, but you want them to go in on the tracks, and that's one of my favorite beefs of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that no more. Like, all these boys just want to do is just talk stuff and things like that. Like, I remember when Kendrick, what track that was? Control. What's the name of the track he did? It was back in 2012 when he went out with everybody. Like, he went at Mac Miller. J. Cole,
something with the Crown or some shit.
Jay Electronica. He came out with.
He went after everybody, and then he was like, "No, it's just I'm just
competition."
I'm just stirring the pot.
Like, I feel like we still need that, like like that healthy competition. To let your peers know, like, hey, we cool, but
I'm here.
I forgot the name of the track.
I'm looking for it right now.
It came out like a few years ago. Time going by. It's 2018, so. But man, so why are you looking for that? So Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas was like your main influences. What about like Lauryn Hill's, Erykah Badu's, earlier.
Now we're going into R&B, definitely.
Yeah.
Erykah Badu all the way, and Lauryn Hill, definitely. I like Celine Dion. Love Celine Dion. I think she has an amazing voice. That white lady could sing her ass off.
Yeah.
My cousin loves her.
But like a lot of people have debates about Lauryn Hill because technically she dropped one album. Mm-hmm. And for me, that whole album was a classic because my mom used to listen to it all the time when I was younger. But it's like you can't really compare the two because Andre 3000, he had albums,
Right.
And he had his solo album, The Love Below, which is a classic, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but it was still technically like a group because it was like in two, the 2 discs. You don't even get that no more.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Like a collector's item.
Yeah. So it was like, people is kind of debating on, do you still consider the GOAT? In my eyes, say yeah, because I feel like she's still the GOAT, but I'm not going to lie. If she came out with another album or two, to me, she'll be untouchable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She'll be just one of them.
You think she'd be the same with Lauren, though?
That's something that's hard, because it's like, it's been... When that came out, like 97, right? 98?
No, like 99.
99, so that was almost 2018. That was almost 20 years ago. So it's just like, maybe not. It still could be up for grabs, but I just feel like, all right, now it's been that long, at least one more album. And if it's like great. Like, if she have the younger generation
That's a
Gavin
little
taking to
further.
it, then I'm like, all right, you.
You got it.
So, but what you think about that? Like, as far as like, you know, do you think like for someone like her, do you think that just because she have one album, you don't think that she's touchable? Meaning, like, you don't think she's the GOAT, or do you think that yeah, she came out with one album, but the album was like great, like people grew up on that, and like she is the GOAT regardless.
Yeah, I think so. I think she is. I mean, you can't forget about the Fugees.
Yeah, the Fugees, but people, you know how people they technical. I'm like, bruh, like,
Hell no. It's like, that's like taking away roughly from me because I did a collaboration.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't
like,
matter. Like, as long as, you know, it was, I'm pretty sure it was all her. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure Wyclef maybe put in, maybe Price put in a little bit, but, like, that was her. So, and the shit that she did on all of the Fuji tracks was amazing.
Yeah.
So now she puts out a solo, you know, regardless if it was one, like you said, it's a pretty good fucking solo album that carries on all the way to now, and you got doo-wop fucking still playing nonstop.
Zion.
You know, like, it's just...
Everything's everything.
Yeah.
Man. Alright, so...
Amazing.
So, now we get into, like, your new... It's an EP.
Yeah.
Your new EP. It's coming out when?
I want to drop it on 4/20. So, April 4/20.
And what's the name of it again?
Friendly Skies.
Why is that? Like, why did you want to name the EP that title?
Well, I was thinking about my project for a very long time, for a couple of years now, and one day I was funny story. I was hotboxing my car and I was listening, and it was raining, so I started listening to Missy Elliott's first album.
I forgot about Missy Elliott. And that's one of my favorites.
And she has a song called Friendly Skies.
Okay.
And I thought about it, and I just looked at the sky, and it was clear. It was to the point where you could see half of the sky being, Florida.
Yeah.
Half of it is clear, and the other half is pouring torrential rain. And it just clicked to me because I just put a whole story behind it. And basically, for me, this entire ride, including, 2016 and 2017, and my entire life has been braving each storm that comes my way. And kind of finding it pretty and trying to find, like, a silver lining through each thing that happens. And sometimes, you can fail, but it's just basically seeing it as friendly skies. So, you're just embracing it. It's going to happen regardless. So the sun is going to set. The sun is going to rise.
Yeah.
The storms are going to come. It's going to rain. It's going to be windy.
I mean, the greats always say, especially entrepreneurs, they always say, if you haven't failed, you never tried. So it's like, think of failing as, all right, I'm going to get my behind back up, and I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to keep trying until I succeed.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? So for me, that's like motivation. I know for you, that's even motivation. Music is a grind.
Yeah.
You got to be creative, you got to be innovative, but at the same time, like, you have to take on, criticism, things like that. Like,
not just criticism. I mean, when you don't have a support system, it gets really tough. And when, you got to kind of be your motivator, your cheerleader, your shoulder to cry on type of thing, it gets really, really, really tough. But what I went through kind of was the tip of the iceberg. I lost my grandmother to cancer.
Okay.
And we kind of made my uncle's house the hospice, so we took care of her until she took her last breath.
Wow.
And she's probably one of the most, I don't even have words right now to describe her, but she's definitely like my dad.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad, so she took that role of being my father and always being there in my life. And I grew up with her. I moved out for like 2 years and came back. You know, like we were really close.
Yeah.
So I went through that, and then that's what roughly was.
So roughly
the
was
sickness
like
that you heard.
Yes.
That track was basically me just like. I was really, really going through it when I wrote that.
Yeah, I felt that because it was 2013. I lost my grandma. My grandma had 3 strokes.
Yeah.
The first one when I was like in the 4th or 5th grade, she was cool. Then the second one was like, you know, it hit her hard, but she was still able to talk. And then
Right.
the third one was just like, we don't know how long she was going to last. And then she passed away in 2013. And like, you know, she was one of my rocks.
Yeah.
You know, so whenever I feel, I think of her because she was strong. Like, people, you know, from one stroke, they passed away. With her, she was so strong.
Right.
She was so determined to be her. You know, and like every day, you know, that's one of my motivations, like to get through, like, you know, life. I'm like, you know, I'm doing this, you know, for my grandma and things like that, cause she, like they said, it ain't nothing like grandma's, you know, like it's nothing like.
There really isn't. There really, really, really isn't. So, it was just kind of like it got really, really hard. So Friendly Skies definitely fit for me because it was just like. Basically enjoying it.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds sadistic, but it's basically enjoying that storm that's about to come, all that shitty shit that's about to come. Just try to laugh through it. And when you listen to it, you're going to see it's wavy. It's very wavy, and it kind of leads you into it's not at all like Roughly. Roughly, you're going to see a different side. It's going to be very, I guess, theatrical and dramatic, and it's going to have kind of put you into a scene and put you into a mood.
Okay, cause Roughly, like I said, it was kind of raw.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So Friendly Skies is more like it's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for that. So how's the process for that so far?
It's amazing. I fucking love it. Well, see, okay, so if we're gonna be honest about this, while Roughly was happening, the reason why it was so raw because we just did it and we didn't do it in a studio or anything.
Yeah, it was
like
just
that.
on
It
the
was just in
laptop.
his living room.
Yeah, on the laptop
that
and
was
stuff
it.
like that.
And every time we were done, you know, it would get mixed and then eventually it would get mastered.
Mm-hmm.
With this, you know, like I come in. We have, like, waves. We took, like, at least 3 nights where it was, like, 8 hours. It was, like, a full shift. And I was going through what I was going through, so I would always come through with a bottle of tequila. Get Fred mad fucked up. Hey, we made beautiful music. Beautiful music. It came out amazing every single time. It's always, like, this has been therapy. So coming here, this is my haven.
So Fred was like the producer, like the
entirely.
Fred, come in.
Yeah, yo, come here.
On.
He's the entire producer.
Shout out to Fred.
Word up.
Cause I really like as a DJ, I love when, you know, artists and the producer, you know, go in and like be at the studio sessions. Like for me, I would love, you know, I always tell artists like whenever you have a studio session, to me that's more important you know, time than, you know, going to, you know, don't get me wrong, the concert and everything,
right.
Live shows, you know, but like just to be to see the process, it's like I can just sit back and just see the chemistry and just see the music, you know, getting made and stuff, because a lot of people, you know, they don't understand that, you know, it's hard, like, you know, for me right now, like, I'm trying to be, like, I don't want to say the next DJ Khaled, but I'm trying to, you know, do what he did, you know, orchestrate, find different artists, and it's very hard because, one, you can't just put any artist on one beat. You got to make sure, like, one flow, then, like, one go after the other, like, the flow is right. that's like the like one of the main things in music and stuff. Like with sports, like you got to practice. To get the main thing with practice is not just knowing to play, but you got to know your teammates. You know, I'm on the offensive line. You know,
right,
you got to
how they move and stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
What their weaknesses are and shit like
Basketball,
that.
you know, baseball the same way.
When you
like,
move as a unison, and then when they play, you see it. You see how good they are.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You know, me and Fred, like we created like every time I come here, it's a great experience, and on top of that, it's like an outlet. You know, so you kind of create a bond and you create a story behind each track that's being touched on or that's being created, versus grabbing so and so off of whatever internet site and then having to pay like $200 to actually have the entire song and all the rights. Well, that's cool. I've done it before, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
You don't have a I don't know, I don't know if you have people that buy off of your stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's just something about creating in a room with that person. I mean, you could just see it on their face if they like something you're doing. So, it really becomes collaborative instead of something that I do, put online for you to buy, and then you do whatever you want on top of it,
So y'all, like, when did this start, like, the friendship? Like did you reach out to her about her music or?
Well, like she mentioned earlier, she came into a session
okay.
years before that with another artist, and from there, I mean, we just kind of just kept in contact through social media and stuff like that.
I had posted an acapella. I had left to Orlando for like a year, and it was to actually start creating what is now Friendly Skies, but it didn't turn out that well, but it was experience in front of, and being in the booth and being in the studio, because there was a studio in the house. So it kind of set me up for this, for being comfortable in front of a mic and, being in front of somebody else, because I get nervous. Really, really nervous.
Yeah, I always say if you nervous, you really care about, like, you care. You're not just there, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything that I do, I get nervous because I care. You know what I'm saying? With the podcast, before I start any podcast, I'm on episode 16. I'm like, I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I had come back and I was posting on Instagram like acapellas. I'm just like choosing like really pretty pictures off of the internet and whatever, editing them, and then posting an acapella. Or if I did like like Aaliyah for her birthday one year.
That's dope.
I took a picture of her, and then I went ahead and I did an acapella of 1 in a Million, I think it was. It's still on there. You gotta look. I
gotta look, 'cause I had to look. It was like going through like vinyls and stuff. I'm like, music.
But on one of them, I think it was just a freestyle. I did like a doo-wopping and stuff, and he actually said it's time to come into the studio. And I was like, "You're right. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm back."
So no, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Nah, so when you made the beat for your friend, right? And she heard the track, she like, that's that fire. You know what I'm saying? So you had the same thing about her when she did like the freestyle and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's definitely talented. Like, super good singer. So, I try to get people recorded, high quality too, so they can put something out and send a message out there.
So with the Friendly Skies project, like, give me the real like raw, because you was saying like the tequila, like you had to bring in tequila some nights. Like, give me that raw process, because April next month. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure like y'all about to be done with the project. Like, did y'all get mad sometimes, aggravated? Because I already know how it is, like, doing the track over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, did y'all get aggravated? Did y'all get like how you call it? Like, when y'all finish like one track, did y'all get excited?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think we ever had
No.
Nah, no
okay.
poems at all. It was actually probably one of the easiest projects I've produced. I mean,
we work really well, and the thing is that I'm really big on communication. So, and I'm very hands-on as well. So if I don't like something, or if it sounds too off, I'm able to talk to him and he feeds off of that. Some people get very touchy about it, and just like, well, I mean, this is my beat, Okay.
When your birthday?
March 5th.
And when your birthday? Oh yeah, happy belated birthday!
Thank you.
Yeah, I told you that. March 5th, and when your birthday?
June 22nd.
June 20. Oh, you got the same birthday as my best friend. So Cancer and the Pisces, is creativity. So I can see like the chemistry when it comes with the music and things like that. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. We kind of bounce that energy, and he likes to get high too. So it's great because he wasn't a big smoker. You weren't that big.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I definitely chilled on the alcohol part. I feel like that year I had like a good streak where I was probably an alcoholic. Like I was taking like a good 2 bottles to face each week type of shit. So I would come here, I'd drink and be like, nothing.
Yeah, just just getting the vibe and go in with the music and stuff like that.
But it was so therapeutic, and you can hear it. Like you could definitely hear it in the beats, and you can hear it in the way that I'm singing and what I'm saying. Granted, there are some songs, for example, Waves, that it's a little bit, I guess, it's not direct. Like, basically, you hear the lyrics, and you gotta kind of make it up. Not make it up, but it's basically however you feel about it. I mean, you get the point. Basically, it's, talking to somebody and telling them, you have to kind of, like, grow your confidence. And I'm just comparing it to different things and different kind of elements of the earth. Like waves, and then, the air brushing through the trees. Things of that nature. So it was just, and then it grows into actual, like, writing, this is what it is, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to give it out.
No, I get what you mean, but, like, from what y'all telling me, like, I can't wait.
But I feel like you could probably describe the growing part.
It's got, like, a soundscape, it's like watching a movie in a sense. Everything kind of grows, and it's not like just a regular song where it just hits there. There's swells in the beginning and climaxes. It really builds.
I can't wait. Hopefully I get kind of early listen.
Yeah, of course. You definitely, before you leave, you guys don't get it just yet. It's not because I don't love y'all.
Nah, it's exclusive, y'all.
It's exclusive.
April, when it drops, April 20th?
4/20. Yeah, 4/20. April 20th. I'm trying to, I'm busting my butt, busting our chops to get this done. But if not, plan B is to drop Cotton Candy Kush.
Okay, so what I ain't hear it yet, but you from seeing your expressions, like you really excited about the song, like why, like what's the process of doing the song was very like fun and
I mean the process of doing each song is always fun, like. Even on the times when I've come in, not shit-faced, but where I'm like, I've been crying and it's been a really bad night. Like, when Waves was the first track that we worked on for Friendly Skies. So there was a time when, I came in, I wasn't coming in, but I wanted to come in. So I came in and I looked like Garfield. Puffy eyes, very stuffy. But it was fun. Like, at the end of the night, whatever we had created in that segment for Waves was amazing. And it had taken me out of my element that I was in and put me in a different element. Kind of an out-of-body experience, but it's not so intense. It's more like, of a feeling. It's always that type of thing. I forgot the first part of your question.
Nah, like
I know that was the second part.
Nah, I was just asking, just like the like I guess more likely like the expectations. Like, do you really feel that you'll reach out to a lot of people with the song?
I feel like with every track, I've made music, and I told Fred from the beginning I want to make music that I know that I'm going to jam to. That I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to be like, ooh, I get goosebumps. I need to rewind that part. Everybody has a track like that. Everybody has a track that they love like that. Or an album that produces that type of feeling. And that's what I want. If I hear the song and it doesn't do the same, then I'm fucking up. I have to go back. We have to revise it. Something needs to change. But it's never like that because every single time we've actually made shit that's fire. And it's not to toot my own horn. It's literally, it's really good.
Yeah.
So it's every time I feel like we celebrate with a joint at the end. And, you know, we're like, man, this is fire, bro.
Well, don't give me, I promise you one thing, don't separate, don't.
Oh no!
Y'all gotta be like the next Snoop and Dre and stuff like that.
We totally are. Actually, the best part about this, which will get you a little bit more excited about Friendly Skies, is that this is actually part of it's a 3-part project. So
I love that, like, cause when you say it's like like it's pretty much like a vision, you know what I'm saying, like a project, like. With me, I'm very big on, like, you know, TV shows and stuff like that, movies, especially TV shows when it comes to, like, Marvel shows. So it's just, like, I always feel like, you know what? They going to come out with a season 2. Or if it's a documentary, they're going to come out with a part 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They have to.
Yeah, so.
This can't be it. No!
We need a sequel.
Yeah, man. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen to it.
It's going to be great. So Friendly Skies starts off with this one. So basically it's emulating the sky, like the day.
Mm-hmm.
You got the sunset, you have nighttime, and then you have sunrise. So Friendly Skies Part 1 is the sun setting. It's about to get dark. Shit's about to get serious. So the very last track of this album or of this EP is nuts. It is nuts. It's crazy. It's I'm very proud of it. It's very good. I mean, I'm proud of everything, but that one, it's very, very, it throws you for a loop. It's like, what did I just fucking listen to?
So when the project dropped, you know, you let it just sink and stuff, will you do, like, shows?
Yeah. I'm definitely pushing it to the max. And then, you know, I'm not sure how long I'll spend before we start working on the second, next project on Friendly Skies 2. Nightfall.
I can't wait, man. But before 2 questions before I close out the podcast.
Yes.
Actually, it's kind of like 3 years, 4 years.
Man, shoot.
For you.
What's up?
Before I go to Fred, because I wanna ask you who's your top, you know, because on episode 5 or 6 I did with Da Vinci on AF Music. He's a producer, so I asked him who was his top 5 producers. So you literally like the second producer on the show, but I want to go to the main event, the main character. Who's your top 5
producers?
Top 5 like artists.
Artists?
Yeah. I mean, if y'all want to, you know, you want to do 2 and 2, or you want to just go with artists.
I mean, artists. I would probably have to say definitely Pharrell, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Madonna. I just love her attitude when she was coming out, and I love everything that she did and everything that she stood for.
Yeah.
And to this day, I mean, she comes out with some pretty dope shit. Let's see. Well, as far as producers go, I would probably have to say Pete Rock.
Pete Rock. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I fucking love Pete Rock, and I saw him live, and I almost had him right on my shirt. On my fucking pen would not write anymore, and he was like, "All right, Jody, I gotta go." I'm like, "No," but it was great. Yeah, and definitely it used to be Jay-Z. I'm not too sure what I'm hearing on the new DJ Khaled. I haven't really been feeling him like that. Like, he's like my top right now. So I think he's being knocked down. I don't know, I have to revise that.
But what you thought about the 444? I thought it was good.
It was good.
Yeah. It's different, but it's like, it's giving you like a blueprint.
It's not a blueprint.
No, I'm not saying like a blueprint. I'm talking about like blueprint to like being like he was throwing game about how to be a successful entrepreneur and stuff like that.
No, I mean I feel him on the messages that he was trying to relate to people, and I definitely like I respect him to the most, and I still like him. I just don't feel like it has the same kick or it has the same power as a Blueprint or as a Black Album or as an American Gangster. Or even fucking Kingdom Come. I don't know why people don't like that album.
I love Kingdom Come, but I never understood why people never like Kingdom Come. Like, y'all boys are asleep.
Right. Like,
why miss me with that one. Nah, I'm good.
No?
Nah.
You didn't like Kingdom Come?
You didn't like Kingdom Come? Why it was like kind of slow for you? Or
no, I felt didn't really have too many records that I really enjoyed. You know, the singles like Beach Chair I didn't think was great. No. I think really just the lead single, the Just Blaze one.
Yeah.
That was really the only one I really vibed with.
Come.
And I copped the album, I'm not even front, but still love it. Yes, it would be my least favorite J album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hot take right there.
But no, I like 444. It was good. It wasn't what I expected, but I guess it's because I have him in my he used to be my all-time favorite. Mm-hmm. So I'm expecting that shit better be spectacular, splat on the on the walls.
But someone told me about the Eminem, because I was afraid to listen to it because I heard it had bad reviews. Who was it? Was this not Sausage J? It was somebody I was interviewing. I forgot who it was, but they were saying that they actually listened to the album and it was good. I was like, I heard people say his lyrics was good, but the production was garbage. It wasn't like the.
I think lyrics are always gonna be good, but the thing is that he likes to use some beats that are
So y'all heard the album?
I have not.
I heard a couple of songs.
And it was how was it?
It wasn't spectacular. I think that Beyonce song that he has. Mm-hmm. I mean, her vocals are always amazing, but it's not M.
Nah, Ed Sheeran one was good though.
I feel like I compare Eminem though to his. I may be a little bit unfair because I compare him to the Slim Shady. And the Marshall Mathers, and I feel like that M bodies this M.
Oh, for sure, but he's been this M for a minute,
Yeah. He just kind of.
Oh, but I really did want to talk about, or at least say that one artist that I just got on, that she's amazing. I really love every single track I've heard from her. Princess Nokia. Shout out to Princess Nokia. I really like you.
Where's she from?
She's from New York.
She's known commercial wise, or she's underground.
She's more underground. But right now, actually, she has a show now on Beats. Mm-hmm. Voices in My Head.
So she made it then.
Yeah. Nah, but she's good, yo. She's so good. You definitely gotta check her out.
What's her name? Princess Nokia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check her out. Very good. What about you, Fred? Your top producers and artists?
Definitely Kanye West, top producer, hands down. I'm a big Rick Rubin fan for what he does. Okay. Let me see. Jack White, definitely not hip hop, but I definitely will dabble outside.
He's great, yo.
That's a good question. There's this guy, Danger Hands. He's based out of Miami. Worked a lot with Timbo. Worked on Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. He did a lot of Britney Spears stuff.
Yeah, Britney Spears. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. And. Oh my! I feel like there's so many.
There's so many,
Yeah, I feel like I would get killed if I didn't say Pharrell. So,
like I said, Pharrell is one of the producers that's
still doing it. He's been doing it so long.
Unappreciated.
You know what I'm saying? And everything he's doing with film now and the pop records, I like that growth too. That's probably my favorite thing about a producer. Yeah, is that they can grow over time. Yeah,
and his shoes are hard.
Yeah,
his shoes hard, man. I'm sorry, his shoes are hard. I seen them one day and I lift them up. I'm like, I need to get them one day. They very light. I had a sneakerhead on the show. His name was Zach. He got his own company coming up where you pretty much like, you know how people flip shoes and stuff and trade. His company's actually like, he wanted to be hands on with the consumers and stuff, with the people who trade in, the buyers and things like that. So it won't be like no how you call it, fraud middleman, because he want to be the right middleman. You know what I'm saying? But we were discussing about how like Jordan and Adidas, like Adidas is kind of coming up, not just even for their shoes, but like they pop culture. Like they got all the artists, the athletes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the actors. Like it's a lot of people that's under their umbrella. That's like they reaching out. Like hey. Pusha T, you know, Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. Like you have people that's like you can see every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like the shoes, like it's just it's lighter. Like I wore Roshi's, but like Adidas shoes are like light. Like you can pick them. Light. It's a cloud. It's like, walking on a cloud. So the last question I love to ask people is like, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
Definitely with some Grammys under my belt. I would really like to be, I would really like to, like, compose and, like, do scores for movies, kind of like what Pharrell does.
That's what's up, yeah.
But really be in, like, the orchestra part and, you know, help actually, like, compose a symphony and stuff like that for scores. Definitely have my own animation. Any type of anime. I want to put I have a voice. So I want to put it to work. And something with the planet. I would really like to, I'm an avid lover of the planet and animals and, you know, defenseless creatures. So definitely be part of, like, lawmaking and stuff like that.
That's what's up. What about you, Fred? Even though I'm going to have a separate interview for you one day soon.
I'm definitely going to piggyback off you because I'm definitely trying to do scoring for film and TV. I right now I'm actually working on film and television, but it's more like on the audio mixing side. But I would love to just full-time create, you know, themes and cinematic soundscapes for film, television. And definitely I would like to dabble in other things like real estate and you know, just more investment type things is kind of what I just started probably last year. But, you know, I just see the growth in there, too. So, you know, as much as I love music, there's just so much in this world that I just want to conquer.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely. One of my new things is I'd like to have a strain by that time.
Yeah.
Like a bud strain and have, like, my own growth company. Yeah. Like, fucking buy out, like, 3 acres somewhere in Cali and just grow the best bud.
Hey, that's another podcast. That's another interview for another podcast one day. Because even though I don't smoke, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, you know what? I'm big on stock, so I'm like, you know, that's something that's growing.
Huge, I think somebody already went. I think there's a weed company that already have IPO open.
Oh, there's many actually. I've invested in a few. One called Corbis out of Massachusetts. How much they? Man, when I bought them, they were like $6.50, and I think they went all the way up to like 12. You know, so it fluctuates. You know, it goes down, but in the long term, it's definitely something to just throw your money into it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Cause I like when to go to piggyback with the movies and stuff. I study like Hulu and Netflix. Like I don't just watch the shows, but I study them. And I'm like, one day I want to have like a documentary, you know, a couple documentaries, couple shows and stuff like that. You know, but like the behind the scenes with music and sports like that, and just with everything. And then, what I was about to say? Oh yeah, one day, cause I love football. I want to be part of the college football playoff committee. Like, I really want to do that. Like, I want to be one of the people, because, like, with me, my fiance would tell you, like, I would literally sit, even my mom, when I was younger, I'll sit from 12 noon all the way to, like, 3 o'clock in the morning watching college football games. And, like, Because what the committee does, like, they'll vote on people to, all right, these 4 teams are going to go into the playoffs and things like that. So for me, like, I want to be part of that committee because I went to St. Thomas, and one of the dudes that graduated from there, he's part of the committee.
Oh, dope.
So that's something like I always wanted to be into. So.
That's a very good opportunity right there.
Yeah, man. But that's hopefully I get in there one day. So y'all have any shout outs before, we close out the podcast?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Audacity Recording Studios.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Audacity for, allowing to have the podcast here.
Definitely. I love you guys. Allow me to come here and get fucked up. I'm joking. We work, okay? It's all work. I love you guys. A lot. Muchos. No, shout out to everybody that's listening and that shows love on a daily basis. Definitely anybody that doesn't get love on a daily basis, I love you.
And shout out to DJ Anonymous.
Yeah, shout outs to you, homeboy.
I appreciate it, man. It's something that's gonna grow.
All about growth.
As I grow, we all grow. Like, I just want everyone around me to grow. I want to go to the Grammys and stuff like that. And,
Yes.
and I want to go to movie premieres.
Yes.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? But before I close out the episode, I would like to say Sports Biz Music. We are on iTunes, Vodoo, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We everywhere. Like, I forgot to even say this on the last episode, but we everywhere, man. But this been your boy DJ Anonymous with Galeano.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, don't join me. Galeano and her producer Fred, and this been episode 16, and we out.
Hey.